Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 680. If you are writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing your book but you're having some trouble getting it done, or perhaps you're at the stage where you need help reaching more readers to let them know about your book, you are in the right place. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh. If you're looking for me online, look for Christine Inc., like that stuff we write with. Each day, I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 19 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they have the ability to turn someone who kind of maybe sorta sees themselves as an author into a published one. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. Broaden your horizons. They're the only ones you'll ever have, so make the suckers as wide as possible. Jennifer Crusie. That's a really good one. Make those suckers as wide as possible. And that's what we're going to talk about today, coincidentally enough. Earlier this month, in one of my Writer Wednesday emails, I shared some strategies for authors to get unstuck and find actionable writing pathways forward. One of those strategies was to, as I called it, adopt a Renaissance mindset. And per a request from my readers, here are even more ways to do that, to adopt a Renaissance mindset, therefore expanding your creative potential, imagination, and so much more. So I've come up with 4 ways to be even more of a Renaissance author than you already are now. Number 1, take crazy chances. And yes, this might sound particularly alarming, especially the times we've been in, but really, if you pride yourself on being more of an introverted observer of life as an author than a spotlight-loving stunt performer, this might sound really disturbing. But really, kicking down the walls of your comfort zone and doing something you thought you'd never do, just to see what happens, that will broaden your world as a person and as an author. Kick the walls down responsibly and safely, of course, but learn how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's something my yoga teacher, Andrea, is always saying. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Growth, lessons, and sometimes the best ideas, especially for authors, all happen in the discomfort zone. Number 2, listen to other sides. Make it a habit of being around, even virtually, people who are different than you, people who think different than you, people who live different than you. This could mean different countries, cultures, careers, walks of life, different points of view. Really, the more drastically different, the better, creatively speaking. Take a sledgehammer to any echo chambers you might have inadvertently created in your world and see what you learn. The key words here are learning and understanding, and that's not to be confused with endorsing. You can learn and understand someone's point of view without necessarily agreeing with them and becoming them. So learning and understanding versus judging and dismissing. The goal is to expand your author world by learning how other people think and view the world. How, as authors, are we supposed to capture the human experience if we're hiding in a very small corner of it? Come out of your corner and see what useful things you can learn. Number 3, laugh. You can probably tell I'm a huge fan of that. I make dorky little jokes here in the show occasionally, so laugh. I'm a huge fan of laughter. Laugh at yourself, your mistakes, your eccentricities, really at the overall comedy of life. And it's hard to find sometimes, but trust me, it's there. There's comedy in life. Find a way to the funny. Actively seek out sources of comedy and leave no stone unturned, if for no other reason than to get a big hit of those happy endorphins that are released when you have a good old belly laugh. And maybe probably kind of need to replenish our stash of those endorphins at this point. And, it's interesting how laughter can come so easily to us in real life, yet comedy is one of the hardest types of writing to do well. Why is this? Well, maybe because it's so damn hard to predict what will be funny and then agree on what is funny and then explain why it's funny. I mean, did anybody see the Bernie memes coming from 20,000 miles away? That was a very surprise. It was a nice little funny surprise. Therefore, expanding your horizons as an author must include a regular practice of finding things to laugh at. I've decided that's a rule. There we go. We've anointed it as a rule. Figuring out why things are funny, and of course, looking for a way to replicate the lessons in your writing. Because here's the thing. The more you understand what makes people laugh, including through tears, the better you'll understand what provokes all the other emotions as well. The human experience will begin to shift into focus. So start with the funny and work from there. And finally, number 4 way to expand your horizons, become kind of a Renaissance author, be a story collector. You know, one of the greatest gifts of my job as a ghostwriter and memoir expert is getting to hear people's life stories. I love that part of my job. And before this career, I got to do the same thing, a little bit messier, as a nurse. I got to stand at people's bedsides and do my work while listening to where people are from and what they did for a living and what they love to do and what made them laugh and all the things they went through in life and somehow lived to see another day. It was especially, really joyful and interesting for me to do this when I was a nursing home nurse because older people have awesome stories. So, do you want to expand your author world? Ask people to tell you their stories. Sometimes it feels like social media was invented exclusively for this reason, to give people the opportunity to talk about themselves. People love talking about themselves. This is not like pulling teeth for you to do this. Or if you do need a more specific and maybe productive reason to talk to people, find a creative parallel to your books or your author brand, so some kind of like common topic subject matter thread, and interview people for articles to write. So this is a way for you to create content. Interview people to tell stories that have some semblance to do with your brand or your book, and then post them on places like LinkedIn and Thrive Global and Medium. There's all these places you can be creating content. So you can be, interviewing people, and you could be being a story collector while also creating valuable content for your brand. So lots of opportunities here. Overall, adopting a Renaissance mindset goes beyond reading, watching movies, absorbing art, and other ways of expanding our intellectual and creative horizons. Those are very important, but it also means engaging in real life, rolling up your sleeves, getting dirty, whether physically or metaphorically speaking, being uncomfortable. So remember, getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, and seeing what you can learn about yourself, others, and life as a result. In other words, real life gives you the stuff to write about. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I am helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. And please drop by my Inc. Authors group on Facebook for motivation, accountability, book writing, publishing, resources, and more. And check the show notes. I always put the link there. Until tomorrow, happy writing.